Hey guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in today's video I'll try to cover the Trident stock, which is recently in the news because of the capex that it has announced, and also due to the government focus on the textile sector, which can be considered as a boost for this particular stock as for the entire sector. And that's why this stock has given a rise from 20 to 25, and many of the small time investors are thinking of adding this in their portfolio and thinking of this as a multi-bagger stock and adding it in the portfolio for long-term investments. Also on Twitter and YouTube, you will find a lot of people promoting this stock, thinking this stock as a multi-bagger, and thinking of adding this, promoting to add this stock in their portfolio for a long-term good return. So that's why I'll try to cover this stock so that you get an overview of what is my viewpoint on this particular stock. So let's get started with it. So as you guys already know of my setup, this setup basically helps me to quickly screen through the stocks. Now if you look at the ROC, ROE ratios, both are below to 12% mark, which is considered benchmark for stock screening, but we can neglect it since it's a penny stock. We can still consider this 10%. OC by EBITDA, which means the variations in the profit as compared to cash from the operating cash, is around 140%. That means we are seeing too much of variations between the numbers which is seen in cash flow from operating activities and the numbers which are coming from operation profit. So this normal range for this is generally between 80% to 120%. We shouldn't see too much of a variation. One is like a very good, and 20% here and there can be manageable, but 40% is too a big a value to be neglected, as this can be considered as a red flag. CFO by PAT generally has to be greater than one, which we do observe over here. Contingent liabilities and cash theft checks are sort of null. So accounting fraud point of view, this both these checks are in place. FCF by sales, which is the free cash flow to sales, this number has to be less than one. In a normal company, basically this means that whatever your sales are, how you are producing the free cash flow. Now generally this free cash flow will always be less than the sales, because there are many factors in which the cash would be used. So having this greater than 100% means that there is some extra source of cash the company is generating from the non-operating business, which is basically means from there is some other income source which is not from the main business, from where they are generating this cash. So this is the perfect sign of accounting fraud or illegal activities in the company from the management side. So this is sort of can be a red flag. I by E ratio, which is like investments on the earnings that it is making, is only 16%. So considering this stock is in small cap mid cap zone, having investments only in 16% is sort of very low, and they can basically improve on making more investment to widen their business. So which is currently they are doing what, like they are announce the capex, so this number might get improved, but 16% over the 5 years is very low. Altman Z score is in check. Working capital days is around 90 days. This has to be compared with the industry leader. So industry standard wise, it's considered 60 days. So 1 month extra working capital days, which means it's taking 1 month extra to convert this capex, which is work in progress capital, to cash to generate any profit from it. So this is kind of a red flag. Debt to equity is in check. Interest coverage ratio is very close to 8, which is considered the benchmark for this. Having it close to 8 means that in future it might be that it might not pay the interest on the debt that it has borrowed. And if you see the con, there is one con which is also listed, that the company is not paying the interest cost. Capitalizing the interest cost means that it's not paying the interest on the debt that it has borrowed. So in future it might the credit rating of this company might go down because of this. So in the setup itself, we observe quite a few red flags, which are enough to not make investments in long term perspective in this particular stock. But still we'll again look at the other profit and loss and other proceed ahead with other numbers as well. So so if you look at the profit and loss statement, the sales are growing over the years, and the net profit is also growing over the years. And that's why many small time investors are considering this stock as fundamentally good stock, but they are not looking into the minor details of forensics check, which are very important to identify accounting frauds in such companies. So having just looking at this sales and net profit numbers and EPS numbers, these are very easy to manipulate, and hence we should basically look at the inside numbers, which are very where the fraud actually happens. So we do observe sales are increasing. If we observe the expenses, the miscellaneous expenses, we do see like a quite a variation in terms of the miscellaneous expenses that it has been putting out over the years. So we see like from 8% dropping it to 4.9%, 4.5%, and we do see variations in it. But since it's a penny stock, again we'll give a benefit of doubt to this company, and basically neglect this part also. The other very important part that can't be neglected is this other income. The source of other income is sort of unknown to us, and when we go study detail the annual reports, we will get to know the source of this other incomes. Basically, a company having too much variation in this other income means that there is no fixed plan for this capital allocation. When they are generating this cash, there is no fixed, having this steady and sort of increasing is a good sign, but showing too much of volatility in the other income means that the capital allocation is not done correctly by the management. So this is again a very bad sign when we think of accounting fraud or cash mismanagement by the company. So this is again a sort of a red flag for the company. We do see profits sort of we were in negative, but after all it started increasing and shown a steady growth, and that's why many small time investors are focusing on the stock because of a good growth in the net profit. Again, if we see the reserves and compare it to the net profit, we see that the net profit sort of almost double between this time, which is around 2015 to 2016, and we see that the reserves also doubling in this particular time period. So those numbers, reserve numbers, are sort of in line with the net profit numbers. So there we don't observe any discrepancies. Now coming to the cash flow, now again many people think like cash from operating activities as a way of doing a fundamental check, which is sort of shown over here that it is increasing. But the ratio that I told you about, which is this OC by EBITDA, which means the profit from operations, which basically means a variation in the cash from operating activities and variation in profit from operations. So generally this profit from operation has to be in line with the cash from operating activities, and a major source of cash from operating activity has to be coming from the profit from operations. So here we do observe a lot of fluctuations in both this number, and hence the ratio is also sort of off by 40%. Here we can see like cash from operating activities shown as 1200 around, but profit is only 800, and 400 is sort of a receivable which is not there in the account yet. So such malpractices can be seen in small companies, and hence it's very difficult to just basis on fundamental study you invest in the stock for a long term investment. So we observe sort of discrepancy over here. Again, if you look at the cash from investing activity, which tells us about where they are investing, making investments in terms of where they are they making investments in the growth of the company, or are they investing somewhere else. So we observe that the investment purchase and investment sold, which is the investments in the stock market, mutual funds, and the other things, their interests have quite a lot shifted from 2016 into that. So we might like we do see like quite a lot of focus in the buying shares and mutual funds and other things, and they have basically shifted from their main business, focusing on their main business. So large capex was announced in 2016. After that, there is no capex made in terms of improving their main business. So that can be considered a sort of a very bad sign. Basically, you should, since you are a small cap, since you are a small company, you should focus main on the business and to grow, how to grow the business in spite of focusing too much on these stocks and mutual funds. So that's sort of a negative point again. Also, if you look at the dividend paid, this is what the fundamentals generally look, whether the company is announcing dividends or not. And hence, since it's announcing dividends, many people are considering this as a good stock. But again, if we study the fundamentals and forensic check separately, we'll understand why this company shows sort of red flags in terms of forensic check. So overall, it has developed quite a lot of red flags to be not included in the portfolio. Again, if we move further, we will see the debtor days have also doubled, which is from 16 to almost 30, which is a sign that the company is not getting paid timely. Working capital days also increase, which means they are delaying the process of converting the capital work in progress to actual profits. And if you look at the holding pattern, the DIs have completely stayed out of this company, which is again a sign that this company might be doing something that we as a small time investor might not be aware of. Hence the DIs, which are the large companies, are moving out of this particular stock. One good thing is the promoters are holding their stake in this company, which is a good sign. But again, there are many red flags that are observed, which are enough to not include this company in the portfolio. But again, if they start focusing on more aggressively on the capex and improving on this part where we observe the red flags, then maybe we can think of adding this stock in the portfolio. And it does have a potential to do. The management has to take the right decision and not focus too much on the other sources, other income, and focus on the business, to expansion of the business. So yeah, I think that's it. This will give you a clear picture of whether you want to just look at the fundamentals and invest in this company for long term, given the fact that there are so many accounting mismanagement terms that we have observed in this company. So I hope you will take a wise decision, and hope you will help the other investing members also take a wise decision with respect to the Trident stock. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any comment or viewpoint, please write in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to channel, please do that. It will encourage me to put on more such content. Thanks for watching the video. Take care. Bye.